Thank you, Coach, for those wonderful, warm remarks. Appreciate it very, very much. And thank each of you for attending this afternoon program here, Memorial Day celebration at Brooke Hills Park. What a beautiful day we are enjoying. It's sometimes because of days like this, it's easy to let slide the significance of Memorial Day. When the all-American tradition of summer is beckoning us, it's hard to resist a day from work, a picnic in the park, a dip in the pool. Should Memorial Day be one day only each year? When we acknowledge the debt we owe to those men and women who, because they cherished peace, chose to live as warriors and defenders of freedom. I find Memorial Day to be one of the greatest of our American holidays. To me, Memorial Day symbolizes a time for America to review our past, look at our future, our nation, our families. President John F. Kennedy said, "A nation reveals itself not only by the men it produces, but also by the men it honors, the men it remembers." Today, we remember and honor the American soldiers, men and women who died while in the military service. It is fitting that our nation chooses the last day of May as Memorial Day, the last Monday in May as Memorial Day. This day marks the beginning of summer. What could be more fitting tribute to men and women who died in the service to their country that the day that gives birth to a season filled with warmth and with life, to recognize them. The fact remains that Memorial Day is more than a holiday. It is a day when our nation should express gratitude to the soldiers and to the heroes who have served under the American flag and made it possible for us to be here today in freedom. Memorial Day is not a day of solemn mourning, but a day of reverent celebration. Since 1866, when the people of Waterloo, New York, dipped their flags to half-mast and decorated their village to remember the soldiers who had died in the Civil War, our nation has paid tribute to those lives of all servicemen and women who have fallen in the line of duty. And since 1948, Arlington National Cemetery has decorated each of the graves with our nation's flag. Thousands of servicemen and women plant the flag at the base of the gravestone in order to lift up the lives of these heroes. The graves at Arlington and at countless cemeteries worldwide remind us that freedom is not free. It has a cost. The soldiers resting there lived supporting the lives and the values that create the backbone of this nation. The soldiers resting there share a special heritage, a common bond with today's soldiers. If you look into their lives, whether they were privates or generals, you would see that they practiced the same military values: loyalty, duty, respect, selfless service, honor, and personal courage. These ordinary men and women who rose to meet simply impossible odds and did extraordinary things. These brave men and women left the safety of this sovereign nation to defeat tyrants, ensure justice, and fulfill the promise of safety and security for our citizens and the global community. Their lives were dedicated not to conflict or death, but to compassion and to life. We have all been touched by the ultimate sacrifice our soldiers have made in service to this country and the suffering it has brought to mothers, to fathers, sisters, brothers, spouses, and friends. We remember the families of the missing and the Gold Star families who lost soldiers to illness, injuries, and combat, who stood strong through their uncertainty and whose resilience, dedication, and commitment to their soldiers continue to shine as beacons through the darkest hours the rest of us live in. Our state was formed in the midst of the Civil War, and it was formed because of our great citizens thought to resist an unrepresentative government. As West Virginians, we understand the sacrifices that must be made to protect what we hold dear. Since our state was founded in 1863, West Virginia has had a long history of stepping up to meet any challenge faced by our great nation. We risk our lives to mine the mountains because America says it needs coal. We send our sons and daughters to fight on foreign soil because America says it needs our brave men and women. West Virginians have always been there to answer this nation's call, whether it is in the coal mines or on the battlefield. As West Virginians, we pride ourselves in our blue-collar ethnic. It is something that we take with us wherever we go. I ask that you not leave this day of mourning as a day of mourning, but a day that we pay our thanks and respects to these remarkable patriotic West Virginians. In this world, terror will never rest. Violence will never sleep. Evil will never die. If we honor and remember those who have saved, compassion will prevail. Justice will triumph, and freedom will reign. I ask you to remember those who stood shoulder to shoulder against terror and oppression, to carry freedom's torch in foreign lands. Remember the soldiers. Support their families. Never forget the missing. Rejoice in their lives. Let this Memorial Day in Brooke County be a beginning, a rebirth of our commitment to live and to serve with passion, joy, and enthusiasm. Let us start summer with a triumphant and joyous song as we celebrate liberty, love, and life. And I say to the families of the fallen service members that are listed on the wall, thank you. For without the courage and selfishness shown by you, your loved ones would not be enjoying the freedoms we have here today. I therefore believe it is my duty to my country to love it. I believe it is my duty to my country to support its Constitution, to obey its laws, to respect its flag, and to defend it against all enemies. I want to thank you again for inviting me here today, Coach. God bless each of you that are in attendance. God bless America, and God bless the great state of West Virginia. Thank you.